Bitcoin can go up and down, just based on the mania or whatever the views are. And I don't have a way of predicting how that will progress.
Why aren't you bullish on Bitcoin?
Charlie and Warren have weighed in on Bitcoin. Do you own any?
Somebody gave me some for my birthday, and then a few years later I thought, hey, I'm going to sell that. So no, you shouldn't expect it to go up. It's kind of a pure greater fool theory type investment.
Now that said, I'm curious for your thoughts here, because Tesla could potentially make more money from its Bitcoin investment this year than profits from electric cars in all of 2020. What's your take on that? What's your Bitcoin take, and the fact that the price can just go up or down based on a simple tweet from him?
So, I agree. I would short it if there was an easy way to do it. What are they?
Bitcoin is doomed. Is it time to sell? Is Bill Gates shorting Bitcoin? In this video, we take a look at Bill Gates' Bitcoin prediction, what he thinks about the digital asset, and why he is not a fan of its long-term outlook. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video where I make an argument against Bill Gates' viewpoint, pointing out a huge investing mistake he made last year and why his take on Bitcoin is another mistake. We also cover some recent bullish Bitcoin data that suggests where the Bitcoin price is likely to go from here. First, let's take a look at the first time Bill Gates spoke on Bitcoin back in 2014 and what he thought of it then. Keep in mind this was when Bitcoin was just a few $100s. Also, only a tiny percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Enjoy the video.
Believe it or not, of Bitcoin, because some people have said, hey, Bitcoin is the answer to those problems. Are you a believer?
Well, Bitcoin is exciting because it shows how cheap it can be. Bitcoin is better than currency in that you don't have to be physically in the same place, and of course for large transactions currency can get pretty inconvenient. The customers we're talking about aren't trying to be anonymous. They're willing to be known. So the Bitcoin technology is key, and you could add to it or you could build a similar technology where there's enough attribution that people feel comfortable. This has nothing to do with terrorism or any type of money laundering.
So the first time Bill Gates speaks on Bitcoin, he actually seems to be a fan, calling it, and I quote, better than currency. Next, let's skip forward 4 years to 2018, when Bitcoin was now in the thousands of dollars and had somewhat proved itself. Bill Gates spoke on Bitcoin alongside two other billionaires and legendary investors, Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, who were thrashing Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is worthless artificial gold. Bitcoin reminds me of Oscar Wilde's definition of fox hunting, the pursuit of the uneatable by the unspeakable. I think it's a scumball activity. Does that better serve you better?
Thank you. Yeah. Bill, Charlie and Warren have weighed in on Bitcoin. Do you own any?
Somebody gave me some for my birthday, and then a few years later I thought, hey, I'm going to sell that. So no, there's some really good technology in terms of sharing databases and verifying transactions that is talked about as blockchain. That is a good thing. Bitcoin and ICOs, I agree completely. It's one of the crazier speculative things where it's not as an asset class. You're not producing anything, and so you shouldn't expect it to go up. It's kind of a pure greater fool theory type investment. So. I agree. I would short it if there was an easy way to do it. What are they?
So, a few years on, and Bill does a complete backflip on his previous view, now saying you shouldn't expect the Bitcoin price to go up and he would short it if he could. I'm unsure how influenced he was by Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, who were thrashing Bitcoin as well. However, it's clear he's taken a very negative view to Bitcoin. Now, let's skip ahead to 2021, where Bill Gates speaks on what he thinks about Elon Musk investing in Bitcoin and if he is still against the digital currency.
Look, Elon has tons of money and he's very sophisticated. So, I don't worry that, his Bitcoin will sort of randomly go up or down. I do think people get bought into these manias who may not have as much money to spare. So I'm not bullish on Bitcoin. And, my general thought would be that, if you have less money than Elon, you should probably watch out.
Why aren't you bullish on Bitcoin?
Look, there are things we invest in society that produce output. Bitcoin happens to use a lot of energy. It happens to promote anonymous transactions. They're not reversible transactions. The Gates Foundation does a lot in terms of digital currency, but those are things where you can see who's making the transaction. So digital money is a good thing. And, there's a different approach that's local currency and attributed and, deals with all the money laundering and terrorism type regulations, and yet gives you the very the convenience and the low cost of transaction. I don't own Bitcoin. I'm not short Bitcoin. So I've taken a neutral view. I do think, moving money into a more digital form and getting transaction costs down, that's something the Gates Foundation does in developing countries. But there we do it so that you can reverse the transactions, so you have total visibility of who's doing what. So it's not about tax avoidance or illegal activity. But, Bitcoin can go up and down, just based on the mania or whatever the views are. And I don't have a way of predicting how that will progress.
So, in 2021, Bill Gates calls himself neutral on the cryptocurrency. However, he has not invested in it, and by the way he speaks on it, you can tell he is still not a fan. Now, just for reference, I am actually a Bill Gates fan, but from the body language and tone of voice of these interviews, it almost seems like he is jealous or envious of the success Bitcoin has continued to have, despite working so closely on his own digital currency. Now, for an argument against Bill Gates' stance on Bitcoin and why he is making a mistake, watch this clip from the Joe Rogan podcast of Elon Musk speaking on Bill Gates and how he heard he was shorting Tesla in 2020.
Explain to me what the Bill Gates was talking about when he was saying that you can't do trucks. What was...
Yeah, I didn't know what you're talking about.
Why did he say that then? Like, why would someone...
I don't know. Probably somebody told him that, and... he just
repeated it.
He's just not that close to the physics of it, and so
I
don't think he's ill-intentioned here. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
But why say it then? Like, you think about a guy who's so involved in technology, you would think he would only talk about things you understand.
I don't know. It's weird. I also heard that at one point he had a big short position against Tesla, which was kind of, I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems weird. People I know who know the situation well, I said, "Are you sure?" They said, "Yeah, he had a big short position against Tesla, which obviously didn't work out too well."
So, although it isn't 100% confirmed, in various interviews, Bill Gates has strongly hinted at shorting Tesla, and now even Elon Musk suggests that Gates held an active short position against Tesla in 2020. The funny thing is that Bill Gates got absolutely wrecked on this position because Tesla was the best performing asset in 2020. This brings me to my main point against Bill Gates. Yes, he was the richest man for many years and he's undoubtedly a genius, but he became the world's richest man through the creation of Microsoft and building a business. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Charlie Munger did not get rich through investing in disruptive technologies or being the first to new, innovative technologies. I believe they have all missed the mark on Bitcoin, and Bill Gates is going to make the same mistake with Bitcoin in 2021 that he did with Tesla in 2020. What I am trying to get across is to take their opinion with a grain of salt. They've been wrong in the past, and I believe they are wrong on this one. Finally, for some recent bullish Bitcoin data that has just come out, the Bitcoin balance held on exchanges continues to hit all-time lows, which is hugely bullish. This suggests that institutions are buying the dip or other long-term holders as they are transferring Bitcoin off of exchanges into other wallets and cold storage. Usually, as you can see, as the Bitcoin price goes up, the balance on exchanges is correlated with it as holders want to sell their Bitcoin for a good price. However, we are currently seeing the exact opposite, which is very bullish for the future of Bitcoin and suggests that we have a lot further to go in this bull rally. Great to see. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed today's video and that provided you with some value. I'll see you in the next video, and as always, have a great day.